So let's see if we can simulate that in a test. So we want to simulate that we press the key to open the search bar. I mean, this looks a bit weird that this root node is drawn on top. Let's just do raise value error for now. Hi, and welcome to another hacking session on SmartNodes. In this session, I want to continue with the end-to-end tests and add some more test cases. Currently, we have one test for the main screen here, and I want to expand to get more test coverage. So I will set my timer for 25 minutes and we will start hacking. So one test that I'm interested in writing is this search bar, because we figure out in an earlier session that the search bar animation looked broken. So I don't know if we can have a look at it and see what the problem was. So when we bring up the search bar, the background kind of comes afterwards. Same on the way up. So let's see if we can simulate that in a test. So we want to simulate that we press the key to open the search bar, and then we're going to simulate like half of the animation time. You can see the problem. So we have to figure out what the animation time is for the search bar. So let's add another test case and do test search bar. In the first iteration, we need to pass an event. Not sure how to do this yet, but something like the slash key. And we also want to set elapsed milliseconds to half the animation time. I'm not sure what the animation time is by default, perhaps 300 milliseconds, because we looked at that in the previous session for the network widget animations. So let's set this one to 150, and the search drawn image is, let's call this search bar halfway, and then let's do another 150 milliseconds and assert that the drawn image is search bar animation completed, something like that. So let's first verify that the animation time for the search bar. So let's see, search bar, is it here perhaps? Update, animation advance, where do we create the animation? VBox, is it a VBox? Does that have an animation? Let's search for start animation reverse. Okay, so it's 200. Not sure what to reverse advance. Okay, so 200. So let's do 100 in the test instead. So we did 150, let's do 100 instead. And then we need to figure out how to simulate events. This is called events, first of all. And then we need to process an event. Okay, so excuse me. So an event is something. Let's do key event, then slash key, and then class key event, base event, and then key down value return self.value is value, and then init value, and then we need to override all these base event. So key down value return false. What else do we expect it to have? So if we look at Pygame event, so these are the ones that we need to respond to. Okay, so let's do, okay, let's do them in order. So mouse motion, and call it rect none, and they all return false, the base event. And then we have left mouse down, left mouse up, mouse pulls. This is only valid for a mouse event, so let's just return none. And then key down text. Also, we can return none. We have this check. If it's a key down, if it's not a key down event, it will return false, I guess, instead of text. And then we have key down is called description. We called it something else here. Value is called description. Oops. Description, and then window game focus chart false, and then what else? Window lost focus. Okay, makes sense, sure. And let's also verify that the key event is actually just called slash, and I think we can find that in settings. Yeah, key open search slash, yes. Okay, so let's see. Iteration, send a key event, elapsed milliseconds 100, so yeah. I probably need to do it like this. We send a key event. I'm thinking we need to do it like this. So this will just initiate the animation. This will step the animation forward by 100 milliseconds, and this step it forward another 100 milliseconds. Let's try that. Let's see. Okay, so div test resources search bar halfway did not match actual search bar halfway. So let's see what it looks like. Halfway one. Actual search bar halfway. Okay, so it doesn't look. What did I expect the halfway to look like? I mean, this looks a bit weird that this root node is drawn on top. But that's maybe okay because that animation is slower. So if we have a look again, when we debug animations, if we look carefully now, the darker background border is, I expected halfway to be not cover all the notes. So maybe there's a problem with the elapsed time. So let's try to also say over here that elapsed milliseconds is 0. And then we do something after 100 milliseconds. Okay, let's try that. Sorry, I meant to run the tests. And then have a look at actual search bar halfway. Yeah, now it looks. Or, I don't know, what does it look like? Doesn't have any background at all, right? Okay, so let's have a look at the search bar again. It has an. Let's see what's going on with this animation. Create it here. And start search. If widget is not visible, this is what happens. Start search is probably called when you press the key. So then we start animation. Reverse 200. What does reverse do on animation? Animation reverse. Okay, so if it's active, it reverses, otherwise it just starts with the duration. Okay. So what happens in the test is that we call an iteration, we send the event, and we do an update for the elapsed milliseconds to be 0. Yeah, I don't get it. So probably, okay. We probably don't need to have a separate, we can just do elapsed 100. As I expected, because then we send the event. And then we yeah, this is also interesting. As it gets a bit weird perhaps when the elapsed milliseconds is so long, because in the real world this will be much smaller if you attempt to do like 60 frames per second. But Okay, let's try some more. Let's do 150 and see what happens. Is there background at all? So now we can see that it's starting to appear at least. There's a very long distance between. Okay, let's keep it up here for reference. And let's see. Oops. Okay, so they like snap in place. That really quickly there's an animation that puts them as in the right place, and then there's a much slower animation that shifts the background. Okay, so are there two separate animations going on? So in the Smart Notes widget, this one has the... Does this one have an animation as well? To like animate the height of the vertical components here? I don't think so. Let's just do a quick search for animation. No. Okay, so search bar. What's this animation used for? So we get a percent, and okay, so this is another problem, perhaps, in that in an update we do a resize, and the resize is not visible until the next iteration, but in this test framework we don't do any more iterations. So some parts might be out of sync. Interesting. So what's happening in the draw? So we do create image, draw search bar image. So just quickly, I think the error that we introduced was caused by this being done in the draw, but it should really be done here. So I think this is the fix. So let's just try that and see what it looks like with debug animations. See if it looks better. And now bring up the search bar. And yeah, it looks much better, right? And if I close it, kind of follows, right? Much better at least than before. So if we run the tests now, and then have a look at the search bar halfway, it's not even visible. Okay, interesting. So should only be, okay, so let's see. So let's finish by doing, yeah, so perhaps something like this is needed. And I mean, 100 should be halfway, right? There might be this problem. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so this, okay. So now this looks correct to me. It looks like it's like halfway down. So this is the expected. Okay, so let's see. So now we can copy this one. Actual to search bar halfway. And now if you run the tests, it should complain about something else. To actual search bar completed. Looks like that, and that looks correct to me. So, okay, I'm thinking about another thing I want to add to this test framework here. So, to make this workflow a bit easier, do that at the same time here. So, in the assert drawn images, we do this, and it will fail with called process error. And we can do try and catch, or rather accept, and we can re-raise it here. So if there is an error, we can print something like, or rather, let's do self.fail with a message and say accept, and then it's move, or rather CP actual path to path and I guess oops, I can say look, I have GNOME actual path, and this should not really be path. I'm using path for expected path. And then path. And here we can say something like can say drawn image did not match, something like that. Let's see if that gives us a better error message. Good has no attribute. Oh, okay. It's no attribute fail. It's not a test case, okay. Cert drawn image is Okay. How to handle this then? Let's just do raise value error for now. Okay, so drawn image did not match. We can have a look at the drawn image by just copying this. And if I can spell correctly, and if I want to accept this, I can just copy this one and do this. And then we're running test again. They pass. Okay. So that was the timer for 25 minutes. It should be Eye of GNOME. Not that pretty, but it works. And we fixed the problem with the search bar as well. But I would like to perhaps dig a bit deeper into why all these are needed and expand on the search bar test case to also add a test for hiding the search bar. So that would be another key event that would hide it and then do halfway hidden and then completely hidden again. So yeah, but time is up now, so I think we can commit this because we have a successful test case, I think. So this was the fix. This was the new test case for the search bar. And yeah, this is both the changes. And we have two more images. Let's say something like that. Yeah, I think that will be it for this session. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.